الله فيكم الشيخ. بارك الله فيكم شيخ. Okay, there's a few Q&A Sheikh if you are. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Keep it to 5. I haven't prayed Isha yet.
Okay, inshallah. Okay, so someone asked a question. When memorizing from the Quran and they come across the verses of the sajda ayat, do they need to keep making sajda when they're memorizing that?
No, you make one prostration. You make one prostration at the end. No, not in the beginning. So you keep reciting, keep memorizing. And when you finish the sitting, right? You do one prostration.
Okay, someone's asking. What can you advise a person who struggles with the showing off? So every time it's that showing off in terms of good deeds and stuff. So how can one better themselves and stay away from this action?
But the most important thing you ought to do is increase your ibadah dhatiyah, which are private. Increase your ibadah dhatiyah, ibadah in essence, which are private. For example, reciting the Quran when you're alone, doing dhikr adhkar when you're alone, sadaqat when no one's seeing you, you're donating, and no one should know where you're donating or who's donating, right? Also, increase your inner intentions, so make them lofty. So why are you reciting the Quran? What are those reasons? Why are you performing Qiyamul Layl? What are your reasons? Ultimate reasons. What do you want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why are you doing dhikr al-adhkar? Ultimate reasons, and make sure they are lofty in the akhirah life. So, for example, you're doing dhikr al-adhkar for Allah to forgive you eternally. So it's to do with akhirah life. So make those intentions behind their ibadah, which are ibadah of Allah, behind them, make those intentions lofty. Sadaqat, the specific smart donations, the specific causes you're donating. Why are you donating to that specific cause? So you want, for example, oppression to be elevated. You want tyranny to be removed. You want the orphans to be empowered. You want these institutions of Quran or institutions of Islam to be empowered. So make those intentions. Okay. So these are the increase the ibadat of dhatiyah. Number 1, ibadah which is specific for Allah, increase them. Specifically the ones private, secret, make them lofty in intentions. And thirdly, spend time with people who are pious and righteous. Spend time with them by either being in the organizations, either being within the institutions, or either doing business with them. So either those 3. So either be in the workplaces, you participate in the work, whatever their work they're doing, you be part of that work, be it organization, be it institution, but voluntary based or employed based. And the other one is do business with righteous people. Sooner or later, inshallah, you'll become amongst them, inshallah. And maybe one of the advices, make dua for you to be sincere. Even the greatest of the prophets made dua. Allah, forgive me from shirk that I committed that I know, and the shirk that I committed that I didn't know, I don't know. Yeah, and Allah make me amongst the mukhlisin, abidin, dhakirin, shakkarin. These are the du'as the greatest of the prophets made. So make dua to Allah to make you sincere. Allah will sooner or later will answer that dua, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, Mashaykh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Sheikh Ubayd. Sheikh Abu Fana, how are you?
Sheikh Adam, how are you? Okay.
Alhamdulillah, very well, Sheikh. I thought I'll just quickly make sure we answer one particular question, Sheikh, because I promised everybody that you'd answer it.
Okay.
It's the one about the Jannatan that you explained on the Sahara trek, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for everyone a place, but then you will inherit those who don't come and get it.
Yeah. Quickly, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for each one of us Jannah. So there's Jannah for me, there's Jannah for you, there's Jannah for each one of us, there's Jannah. Yeah? Is that clear? So
No.
for everyone there's Jannah. Alhamdulillah. No one will take that Jannah away from you. Yeah. And then anyone who's next door to you, but they don't enter into that Jannah because they were ungrateful, they were polytheists, they committed kufr and shirk for eternity, they are not in Jannah, you will inherit their Jannah. You will inherit the Jannah. So by default, each one of us, by default, if you enter into Jannah, by default, we will have 2 Jannah.
Subhanallah.
Allahu Akbar.
You know what?
As long as we enter into Jannah, by default, we'll have 2 kingdoms of Jannah. By default.
Subhanallah.
Allahu Akbar.
That makes like you so excited because you know it wasn't supposed to be for you, so it makes you even more excited to get it.
Yeah. And then there will be 2 huge levels of Jannah, right? Which are completely different. One will be entirely gold, and one will be entirely silver. And the beauties will differ also. And the ones who will be entirely gold, right? There will be people of the Siddiqeen. There will be people of the Siddiqeen. They are the highest after the prophets. They are the highest after the prophets, right? So imagine you inherit the Siddiqeen level of gold level, yeah? And the one who was next door to you, who was supposed to attain that, did not attain it. Suppose he was a munafiq, he did not attain it. You inherit his kingdom also, among Siddiqeen level. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Anyone who has that level will have 2 Jannah. Yeah. So we all have, so it's not one Jannah we will have, one entire kingdom of Jannah, not one. As long as you enter into Jannah, inshallah, you will have the opportunity to inherit 2 Jannah, and the opportunity to inherit 2 Jannah, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Ustad Abu Khanat, do you mind if I also add another question before you read anything else from the list? Just the thing that I had a lot of requests yesterday, Sheikh, for you to clarify the issue of pictures. I think some of my friends, I think they said that their wives work in some kind of area where that would make their life a bit easier if they were able to. So do you mind expanding, Sheikh, one more time on that topic?
Yeah, quickly. Basically, in summary, what's the difference between a photo, which the vast majority of the scholars now allow it, the photo, what's the difference between a photo and a drawing, and making a model with say, a sculpture, say with clay? What's the difference between all these 3? Okay, on the apparent, there isn't any difference. There isn't a difference between a picture, right, and a sculpture and a drawing, right? I'll give example. So suppose the photo of so-and-so you've taken. Now you make it huge, and you put it on the wall, yeah, of so-and-so, Muslim or non-Muslim, celebrity or non-celebrity, yeah, and you begin to venerate him or her. Would that be haram? It'll become haram. Even those scholars who say it's allowed to take a picture, they will say this is haram. Why will they say this is haram? Why would they say this is haram? Because you've taken the normal picture of him or her from being a sentimental thing, from being a memory thing. Now you're taking it to a level of glorifying him or her, celebrating him or her, and venerating him or her. And it can become eventually, in the next generation, it can become worship of that person, even if it's a picture. Is that clear? So the main thing is veneration. Main thing is the intention. The main thing is the objective behind the picture or the sculpture. As long as that sculpture or that thing is not being worshipped or is not being venerated, yeah, and you are not also glorifying yourself of your talent and skill, so these wrong intention and the wrong objectives are not there, then inshallah the minimum is that it's allowed. So for example, you're not allowed to take a picture of an idol, for example, just even a picture, and glorify them. Yeah, it's haram, it's not allowed. Similarly, you're not allowed to sculpture an idol that is being worshipped. It's not allowed, it's haram. Similarly, you're not allowed to draw an idol. or anything that's been glorified and exalted and worshipped, right? That is the haram. Yeah, but if anything is not in that category, so you're not venerating haram thing, you're not venerating kufr, you're not venerating disbelief, you're not venerating shirk. Rather, you're just drawing, for example, you're just drawing the sky, or you're drawing the trees, or you're drawing the oceans, or you're drawing the ships, yeah, or you're drawing, say, lions, right? And you're sending a message out. The message can be, look at the perfection of Allah's creation. Message is tawheed. Message is oneness of Allah, or the beauty of His creation with the tawheed of Allah. Or the message is you're venerating the pious and nobility, or a pious sanctified place and the worshippers of that place. You're sending a message of oppression, right? So these are all khair. As long as you draw them, you take a picture of them, and you hang in your place, or you show it in your place, or a certain place, social media or other places where people can see that oppression, and then they take a sign and a slogan from it, and they take a revolutionary idea or concept from it. Yeah, and these are all khair. These are all khair. So in a nutshell, everything, all of those three can be haram. The photo can be haram. The drawing of the pictures can be haram. The sculptures can be haram. They can all be haram. And also at the same time, they can all be halal, right? It all depends on their, firstly, intention, right? Secondly, the objective and the message, right? And thirdly, that they are not venerated and they are not worshipped, either now or in the later on future. Yeah. So if these can be mitigated, then inshallah ta'ala, it will be halal and not haram. If this cannot be mitigated, then it will be haram always. I hope it's clear now, Sheikh Adil.
Yeah, Jazakallah, Sheikh. Thank you for that expansion. Tafadhal, Ustaz Abu Khan, if you'd like to maybe choose a couple more from the Q&A.
Okay.
Two more, inshallah, because I have to go.
Two
I have
more.
to pray,
Okay,
inshallah. Brothers are waiting for me.
Okay. Okay. Someone's asking in terms of when someone's not fasting due to illness or traveling, should they hide away their eating in front of others?
Yes, you should. You should not eat in front of people who are fasting, because fasting is not, Ramadan fasting is not simply a fasting between you and Allah Jalla wa'ala only. It is a sha'a'id. It is a public fasting. So it's not just secret fasting between you and Allah, it's also a public fasting. So that's why in Ramadan, generally the restaurants are closed. If anyone does eat, even in restaurants, they should eat hidden. They should not publicly display that they are traveling or they are ill. They should hide away and eat. In Ramadan, restaurants daytime shouldn't be open. They should be open nighttime and so forth, or iftar time and going. Okay, so yes, it should not show that you're on monthly. That's something embarrassing that shouldn't be shown, or that you're ill and so forth, and publicly eat. However, in your own house, if everyone knows you're ill and you're fasting, then you can eat, but still it's recommended that you eat not in front of people who are fasting. But if you're in monthly, then you should hide away and not show, because it's something embarrassing, right? That your brother, your mahram knows that you're on monthly. If it's your husband, then no problem. You can eat in front of your husband even if you're on monthly. But if it's your brothers are in their houses, right? Then no, you should not. Or you're living with your husband's brothers, then you should not. Or your father-in-law, then you should not eat in front of them, even if you're in your monthly. But if it's just your husband, then no problem. You can eat in front of him if you're in your monthly, inshallah.
Relating to your previous answer regarding the drawing, Sheikh, someone's asking pictures in the house where angels don't enter.
Yeah.
What pictures are they, Sheikh?
The pictures of idols or anything that's venerated by any culture. So if they're idols of worship or any animals that are venerated by any culture, like for example in India, they venerate many animals, right? These animals shouldn't be put in the houses of Muslims in India in particular, or in anywhere. Yeah, so those types of pictures, those kind of pictures, they shouldn't be put on the wall, because they are being worshipped with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those pictures. And also, if you put up the pictures as out of decorations, then the issue is, why are you putting it? Is it because it's a perfection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation? Is that the message, right? Or is it because this, for example, a tiger is showing kindness to a baby deer, it's not eating it, for example? What's the reason? What's the reason? Is it, if it's with perfection of Allah's creation, or if it's to do with a message of sympathy and empathy, and care and love, right? So it depends on those intentions. But most importantly, what's not allowed is anything that is venerated and worshipped, yeah, as a deity. Those pictures, or those idols, or those animals, or those kind of pictures, they are not allowed to be portrayed in the houses. And as for your pictures, human pictures, photographs, again, what's the reason you're putting it, right? Generally, you shouldn't put up. Scholars, like, it just goes against our culture of venerating people. Why are you putting? And it goes with other cultures. Other cultures, they venerate the husband, the wife, or the parents. They put the pictures up, so forth and so forth. So that's why in Islam we should go against those cultures which venerate people. So we Muslims shouldn't put photographs of animals for no reason, or photographs of people for no reason, right? If you put it on public places, for example, you've got a museum, and that museum is showing empathy, of sympathy towards people who are being oppressed, and in that you put a picture of, for example, a tiger showing kindness and care towards a baby deer, then it makes sense. You're putting that picture in that context. But it makes no sense putting that picture in your house or in your room. So in Islam, everything is done through wisdom. Everything has a reason, right? So if those reasons are good, then the pictures can be there. If the reasons are not good, it's not within the context, then the picture shouldn't be there, because you may be venerating the animal in of itself rather than the creator, and you may be venerating yourself because it's your artwork rather than the one who gave you that talent in the first place. So I would say, when it comes to pictures in the house, avoid them, right? Unless, as we said, there's a clear, explicit message you're giving to anyone who visits in your house. Like I said, drawing a Mosque of Al-Aqsa, and Muslims throughout the world worshipping once upon a time, you draw that kind of image, then and you put that on your wall, then there's a specific, explicit message you're giving to anyone who visits in your house, inshallah ta'ala. That should be fine.
Okay, barakallahu feekum, Sheikh. Inshallah, we'll end the night. There are a few more questions, but what I'll suggest is some of those questions, it can be found online. Other questions here on the list, Sheikh has already answered them. So if you want, you can go and listen to the Q&A in Ramadan. You can go through it slowly and take general benefit from them. Okay, Sheikh.
It's on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel, Al-Arqam channel. So do visit us, inshallah. Okay, Sheikh, do you want to end it, Sheikh?
You end it, Sheikh. Okay.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام.